There's a few different ways that I recommend serving in spec tennis, and it's good to have some variety so you can potentially force a weaker return from your opponent. So when you're serving, you have to have 1 foot on the 4-foot mark, which in competitive play is 4 feet behind the corner of the court. And so 1 foot is back here. The first way that I'm going to show you is with underspin. So if we lead with this front edge of the paddle with an open face and a continental grip, then we can put some underspin on the ball. It can either be a high to low motion, or it can even be a low to high motion. Next, I'll show you side spin, then I'll show you top spin, and finally I'll show you a lob serve. A few more examples with underspin. I like to just hold the ball out to the side and drop it from a medium height position. Remember, you have to make contact at the waist or below in spec tennis. So I start with my paddle back, and then I'm just doing a motion like this so I can get a little bit of underspin on the ball. One of the advantages of hitting underspin is that if you hit it really well, it stays low on your opponent's side, making for a difficult return. One of the advantages of hitting with underspin is if you hit it well, it can stay really low on your opponent's side, making for a very difficult return. If you're right-handed, doing the same thing, just facing the other direction. So I find that 4-foot mark, 4 feet behind the corner of the court, I get into my continental grip. And the easiest way to do that is just relax my fingers, let that paddle rotate until I find the angle that I'm looking for. Now I'm in the continental grip. I'm gonna do the same thing and cut it with a little bit of underspin. So when you do this, the ball should be rotating back towards you if you're doing it properly. Next up is side spin. So for left-handers, you wanna swing from left to right, and right-handers want to swing from right to left. And your contact point when you do side spin is probably going to be more in front of you. So instead of making contact here, it can be helpful to make contact here so that you're able to swing across the ball and put that side spin on it. This can be also a very difficult return for your opponent because the ball might hit the court and move in a different direction than your opponent is expecting. So I set myself up for the side spin. I'm still using the continental grip like I was using on the underspin, but notice now I'm gonna be coming more this way. So from left to right because I'm left-handed. And that ball is spinning through the air sideways, and for a left-hander, it's curving to the left. Right-hander would be the opposite direction. Right-handed side spin, I'm cutting it from right to left. Notice that high finish is helpful on the side spin. Next up is top spin. I left this one for third because I want you to have either an underspin or a side spin serve before you focus too much on the top spin one. It's a faster serve, and I see players miss it a lot more. And remember, in spec tennis, you don't want to miss a lot of serves because the risk reward is not very high. When you hit top spin, you want to lead with the top edge of the paddle with more of a neutral face. So if I come like this to the ball, I can make that ball start rotating forward. I'm going to do a more aggressive swing, and as a result, I'm going to end up following through on the top spin because I'm generating a lot more momentum. And so again, watch your ball flight as you're doing this, making sure that it's rotating end over end forward. When you're hitting top spin, it can be easier if you rotate your grip back a little bit. So if I'm in the continental grip that I was just using for the underspin or side spin, if I let my hand rotate backwards just a little bit, now notice that the face of the paddle squares up, making it easier to lead with that top edge with the neutral face. And the last type of serve that I want to mention today is the lob serve. Now this can be good because you hit it really high and slow. Oftentimes your opponent might try to hit the ball way too hard and miss it. It can also give you a lot of time to get forward if you're serving and volleying. So if I hit really fast and low and I try to make it to the net to serve and volley, I might only make it to here before my opponent hits. But if I hit it higher and slower, I have a lot of time to get into a good volley position for that first volley. And so for the lob serve, I like to use my continental grip again. So I'm rotating my hand forward till I find maybe a 45-degree angle. And this time I'm trying to come into the bottom part of the ball. So imagine you're just hitting the ball up to yourself. That's the feeling you want on the lob serve. So I'm doing a low to high swing, trying to clear the net by a lot so that I hit a nice slow ball that can be difficult for my opponent to handle. So let's take a look at these serves from a little bit different angle. Here's the underspin. Notice how low that ball stays when it hits the court because that backspin is slowing it down, making it not kick up very high. This next serve is the side spin, so swinging from left to right or right to left if you're right-handed. I want you to notice the curve on the ball, where it starts versus where it ends up. This next one I'll hit with topspin, so notice the swing's a lot faster and my ball has a lot more speed on it than the slice. And finally, here's the lob serve. So open face of the paddle, low to high swing, trying to hit the bottom part of the ball, putting that ball way up in the air. So those are 4 types of serves that I think you should try out. And one final tip today is make sure you're not aiming too close to any lines. If you're trying to paint the lines, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. So it's better to have that ball be substantially inside the court and have your consistency be up rather than hitting too close to any lines, especially because it's hard to ace somebody in spec tennis. Thanks for watching today.